Why can't I find time to exercise? I hear that from clients recently related to my stretching. I heard that from myself, and I want to share with you what I learned from a yoga class gone bad, and also share with you what you can do to find out if it is a time issue or if it is a joy issue. Welcome, I'm Sheri Traxler with Vireo Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. I am so glad that you are here. If you have not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell, because we are going to work today on making exercise stick in a way that you really enjoy. So my yoga class, I did all the right things. I got all my gear together ahead of time, got my yoga mat together. I blocked the time. I arranged my schedule to go to a 9 a.m. yoga class. I got there, and as I'm walking in the room with my mat, I notice everybody's walking out. I think, something's wrong with this picture. So I looked at the schedule. It was not a 9 a.m. yoga class. I had it wrong. It was an 8 a.m. yoga class. Oops, okay, well, no big deal. As I'm driving to my office, I'm thinking, okay, I've got this to do and start planning what projects I'm going to work on. And I thought, wait a minute, you're always saying you don't have time to stretch, but you just made over an hour block of time to do a yoga class. It's still blocked. Why don't you stretch now? And then I realized, oh, I'm not really going to enjoy that. Aha! For me, my stretching, was it a time issue? Was it a joy issue? Sometimes, some days, some weeks, some seasons of life, it really is a time issue. And I have an episode coming up to help you with figuring out how to fit in fitness, especially strength training, when time is the issue. But sometimes it's not time. Sometimes it's joy. You are made for pleasure and running from pain. So for me, that yoga class was more pleasurable than the thought of just stretching. And I wanted to dig and find out why. So I go back to some of the questions that I use with my clients and helping them make healthy habits stick. And I want to share with you 3 questions and work with you today on 3 questions that you can use to find out how to get more joy into your exercise. Because when you are making the investment of effort and time for exercise, you've got to get more pleasure either in the moment of what you're doing or in the outcome, very soon outcome, not, oh, I'm going to, get to this level of fitness or flexibility 5 years from now or 6 months from now even. It's got to be a pretty close to the time payoff of pleasure, fulfillment, something. So that's what we're going to talk about. The first question I want you to answer is, what do you enjoy doing on vacation? I know that sounds vacation. What does that have to do with my fitness? But it's going to give you a clue as to what types of activities you might enjoy doing for fitness. You may not enjoy fitness exercise on vacation, but let me give you some examples. Number 1, if you enjoy a road trip and seeing lots of different things on vacation, then going to the same gym, the same time, the same workout with the same people, that might not be your jam for exercise. You might do better with one day it's at a gym, one day it's at a park, one day it's by yourself, one day it's with a friend, one day it's where you take a long hike at a park that you've never been to. You need to always be changing it up if that's more of your bent. If, on the other hand, you're like, I'm just going to go to the beach.
Wow.
And I'm going to watch the waves, and I'm going to read, and I'm going to stroll, then your fitness might need to be something that is more, I won't say mindless, but something that lets your mind decompress and unplug. Do you enjoy going to the same place every year for vacation and seeing the same people? My husband's family for years went to the same dude ranch at the same week so that they would see the same people who were doing the same thing, meeting there every year. I've got a client who every year she goes to the beach with the same group of girlfriends, and it's the same beach, and they meet some people that they met years ago at that same beach, and it's just become a thing every year. If that's the type of vacation that's just like, oh, that is just the bomb, that's exactly what I want to do, then make sure your fitness routine reflects that. Question number 2, what activities absorb you? What makes you lose track of time? When you are, in your wood shop, woodworking, or for me, if I'm working on organizing a project, or if it's an arts and crafts thing that you enjoy doing, something that you're into and you lose track of time, that's going to give you a clue as to what to do with your fitness. If looking at nature and just sitting and contemplating nature is what makes you lose track of time, that's going to give you a clue what to include. For me, I enjoy nature, but I enjoy being active in nature. I have a friend that whenever he can just sit and look at nature and the animals play and the clouds pass by and completely lose track of time. For me, if I'm just sitting there looking at it, even just looking at the ocean waves coming in, and I love the beach, in 10 minutes, I'm going to be bored out of my skull. An example of that is I planted in our garden, on a garden path, 2 lavender plants, one on each side. And I will take my yoga mat and I will lay out in between those plants and do some stretching. Now, here's a key, if being in nature was enough to motivate me, then that would be all I would need, would just be my 2 little lavender plants and go stretch in between them, and I'd be a happy camper. But that only happens some of the time. Before a new client and I commit to work together, we have a call to make sure that, what their needs are and how I can help them, that all that fits together. And recently in one of those calls, the woman described to me that she hates being out in nature for the sake of being in nature. She said, "Sheri, if you tell me that I've got to go to the park and walk every time for my workout, it is not going to happen." But she does enjoy movement with her grandkids and music. So that is an area that she can lose track of time if she's dancing with her grandkids. Third question is, what makes you come alive? Is it interacting with people, learning something new, art, music, physical movement? What is it that just lights you up? For me, 2 things that make me come alive are learning something new and physical movement. Well, this is one of my clues when I was asking myself these 3 questions. That's one of my clues as to why the yoga class sounded like fun and just stretching by myself didn't, is I would be learning something new because the instructor is always giving a little clue as to something you can do different. And so it's a constant learning. And the other is it's physical movement, which is different than how I used to stretch. I would get out my yoga mat, put it out, get into whatever stretch I was going to do, and then just hold it. It wasn't true physical movement. Whereas in the type of yoga class that I take, Hatha, you are holding a pose for a few seconds, get the stretch there, and then you move to the next one. And then you'll go through that several times. So you do increase your flexibility, which is my goal with stretching, but it's not just hold, a hamstring stretch for 3 minutes and then hold the next hamstring stretch for 3 minutes. For you, if you love art and music, make sure that wherever you're going to be exercising has some of your favorite art on the wall. Putting all of this together for my stretching. Here is how I applied these questions. Use this as an example to help you in solving how to make exercise more joyful for you. First off is I know that I do enjoy learning. So yes, an audiobook can help. If I am learning something new with stretching, that can help. And I have done this before. I've taken stretching courses and learn new ways. It's like, okay, I've got, shoulder issues. I've got, so, okay, what are stretches I can do for that if I'm learning something new and how to move my body? That's going to help. Thinking about the vacation question, I like seeing new things. I do not like going back to the same place every year and seeing the same people. So that means I need to incorporate that in my stretching. One day a week, take my yoga mat to a stream at a park and do some stretching there. Also, the physical movement piece I've talked about, I've learned that when I just say, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes at lunch and stretch this, and I'm going to take a 5-minute stretch afternoon break, and then a few minutes before bed, and I kind of space it out. From an efficiency standpoint, that sounds really good because, on paper, it looks like if I take a 10-minute break, I can spend a couple of minutes of that stretching something, and that's good for some people. But for me, I don't really get a lot of that physical movement. I would rather go walk for 5 minutes to get my blood flowing and my brain recharged, and my stretching be something where I say, okay, I'm going to take 20 minutes or 30 minutes and move during this and get into a flow with it. What's really fun is it's working. I am definitely stretching more. In addition to these questions, make sure that you have the fitness personality quiz that I have available to you. I have a video that I have done on that, and I will link that, and just email me and I will send that to you, sheri@thevireolife.com. It's a free quiz to get you going on here's my fitness personality, and here are different activities that I can do based on that personality. Recently, a few friends were sharing with me their struggles with making time for exercise. And this is a part of that, but I also realized I needed to do a whole series related to this, not just exercise, but time for stress management, time for healthy cooking. So with my podcast that is newly launched, I am doing a whole series on time, and I'm going to be doing videos here about that as well, so you can get that both places. I want you to get your wellness to fit your real lifestyle when things are busy, which they are. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to subscribe, click that notification bell, and until next time, find your unique path and fulfill your potential.